Sriman, you are there? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Can we start recording the program? I'm starting the program.
Yes, ma'am. It's already started.
Yes. I'm Dr. Sailaja. I'm Vijayawada Gynecological Society Secretary, which has 330 gynecologists as members. This is affiliated to the National Federation of Gynecological Societies of India, which comprises of 36,000 gynecologists all over India. This time, for the first time in history, this society is being headed by a Telugu lady, Dr. Santakumari from Hyderabad. She has been doing the groundwork for 6 years for this program, which we have brought to you today. This is Dheera, saying no to violence against women. As our national coordinator, Dr. Kiranmai Devineni says, the common language of most of us females is silence. This silence we want to break and sensitize you to say no to any type of violence against women. Today, three gynecologists are speaking to you. Dr. Susila Pinnamaneni from Lata Super Speciality Hospital, Dr. Lata from Lata Hospital, Bhavanipuram, and Dr. Navina from the RTC Hospital, Vijayawada. I am coordinating and conducting this program. To start with, let us listen to what Dr. Santakumari has to say to you. Sriman, can you please play the video?
Dear friends, Foxians, and the women of my country, I am Dr. Shanta Kumari, President of the Federation of Obstetrics and Gynecological Societies of India. As a doctor and a woman myself, I have observed very closely how prevalent violence against women is across the strata of our society and the enormous impact it has on the health of our women. My theme for the year as the President Foxy is Foxy for all always, and Dheera, stop violence against women.
Dr. Shanta Kumari, who has relentlessly campaigned for the issues of girl child. I was happy to be the ambassador of Foxy Figure Ox in 2013, and I hope that me being an ambassador has motivated a lot of girls and many families.
Violence against women is a serious human rights violation, leading to injury and sometimes even death. Unfortunately, 1 in 3 women experience some sort of physical and sexual violence during their lifetime. Violence in pregnancy is also widely prevalent, leading to unwanted pregnancies, unsafe abortions, neglected pregnancies with no antenatal care, all these contributing to maternal morbidity and near miss. As obstetricians and gynecologists, we have a great opportunity to assess and support women who experience violence because of the unique opportunity where we get to see them during the pregnancy, during the family planning visits, during their annual checkups, and multiple other times when they come to us. I strongly believe that by eliminating the violence against women, we are not only reaching the SDG goals, but also creates a just and equal society for our women. Until we make men and boys active partners, we can never end the violence against women. In an endeavor to sensitize our own fraternity, my initiative of Dheera was started to eliminate violence against women.
I completely support her vision and mission as President Foxy, and also especially support her campaign, Dheera, Stop Violence Against Women.
It was in 2016 at the launch of Dheera. We brought together the police, the obstetrician gynecologists, the National Commission for Women, the women and men on one single platform to wear orange and say no to violence against women. We organized the public forum and cyclothon to launch Dheera. In 2017 at the Foxy Figo Congress, we partnered with men and organized the bikeathon and the flash mob. The high point of Dheera was at the International FIGO Congress at Rio, Brazil in 2018. The Declaration on No to Violence Against Women was signed with FIGO and WHO. It was here global societies pledged their support to end this violence against women. The Dheera campaign and march at the World Congress of FIGO in Rio in 2018 got wide international publicity. No change is possible unless the young minds adopt it and make it a part of their life. Young minds are open and creative. They accept change. Foxy has always worked with adolescents for their health and well-being. Dheera this year adds a new page. I'm happy to share with you all that we are launching the Dheera online school certification course across the length and breadth of our country in all the schools. Foxy for all always. Dheera, stop violence against women.
Till now, we have covered 14 schools from Vijayawada Society and 1800 students, and I'm happy to announce that some students got back to us asking how they can help take this program further. This is not a class for you. There won't be any exam after this. You just listen carefully what we are trying to tell you to change your attitude so that you people build a better society in future. Susila madam, you are ready with the first presentation?
Yeah. Shailaja, I'm ready with the presentation.
Yes,
Yeah.
madam. You are very much audible. You go ahead with the first presentation.
I'll share my screen.
Yes, madam.
Sailja ma'am.
Yeah, Navina.
Ma'am, where is this college?
This is Siddhartha Mahila Kalashala, Vijayawada.
Can I come over there?
Definitely. Most welcome.
Okay.
Fortune Murli ki opposite.
Opposite tells ma'am, I know that
Yeah.
college. I'll be
What's
there
in?
in 10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
One of the master trainers wants to come to you and interact with you directly. This program is being recorded live and every recording will be transmitted on YouTube. We'll be sending you the link. You can see the video again. Anyone who comes forward to share their experiences or any doubts, any feedback, some questions will be asking regarding what we are going to tell you. Anyone who comes forward, your name and picture is going to the UNICEF. Every one of you will get a certificate signed by a representative from the UNICEF and Foxy. Listen to Susila madam tell you something.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. So I'm happy to be with you all talking about violence against women. And my sincere thanks to Vijayalakshmi Garu and all your faculty for allowing us to talk with you all and share about the violence against women. And almost like more than 100 students have logged in, and nice to see you all. So Dheera is a project to talk about the violence against women, and this is a brainchild of our president, Dr. Shanta Kumari, who's brought this concept actually along with UNICEF. And she has trained so many of us like gynecologists to share our views with you and tell about violence against women. So the agenda for today is I'm going to talk on what is Dheera, what is WOW, and types of violence against women. So the next two speakers, they are going to talk on management of violence against women and peer pressure. So students, you have already done the registration and pre-test. So after the total session, kindly fill the post-test form also and give your valuable feedback so that you will get the certificate signed by UNICEF and Foxy. So what is Dheera? Dheera means courage. That is dhairyamu. Dheera ante dhairyamu. So this is like whenever we are courageous, we can be together and we can fight against anything odd that is happening. So we have a Twitter account that is #Dheera, where you can all sign and give a nice quote in that. So let us all together and then let us know what is Dheera and let us be courageous. Not all men practice violence against women, but all women live with the threat of male violence every single day. And this is global, that is, it is all over there. This was said by Fraud Alcabaro. So by the end of the talk, I think no woman should be like really in fear of violence. So violence against women is a global human rights violation ante manava hakkula ullangana. So it causes short-term and long-term physical, emotional, and psychological consequences, prevents their full and equal participation in the society. The magnitude is immeasurable, and this has been huge in this pandemic due to lockdowns, reduced mobility, isolation, stress, mainly because of the economical problems, and it has gone to extent of even domestic violence also. So you must have seen women beaten up, threatened, scolded, maybe at your home, maybe at your school and neighborhood also. Students, do you think this is right? I don't think anybody of you say this is right. So what is such behavior called, and is there any word to describe it? It is called violence against women. And violence against women is the most shameful act and it is mana samajamlo idi chala shameful act chudali ante. It is widespread, it knows no boundaries, it knows no geography, culture, wealth. So even it is seen in most educated families, most wealthy families also. As long as this continues, there is no real progress towards equality, development and peace. So manaki purogati undali ante ganaka shanti undali mana country lo gaani samajanlo gaani ante violence against women undakudadu. So what exactly is violence against women? It is mental, sexual and physical trauma forcing a woman to live in fear. So what are the roots of VAW? Ante mana VAW anedi ante violence against women chala paatupoyindi mana samajanlo itla ee velu ela undipoyiniyo భూమిలో అట్లా పాతుపోయింది. ఇవన్నిటిని మనం తొలగించాలి అంటే మనకి వైలెన్స్ అగేన్స్ట్ ఉమెన్ అంటే ఏంటి, దానికి టైప్స్ ఏంటి, దాని నుంచి మనం ఎలా ప్రొటెక్ట్ అవ్వగలము అనేది చూద్దాం. సో 5 టైప్స్ ఉన్నాయి దీనిలో. టాక్సిక్ మాస్కులినిటీ, patriarchal society, gender bias, sexism and gender stereotyping. These are very difficult terms. I would like to explain in Telugu. So toxic masculine ante maga adipatyamu. So gender bias ante linga vivaksha. Sexism ante linga pakshapatamu. Patriarchal society ante ఆధిపత్యం. ఇది టాక్సిక్ మాస్క్ అంటే అహంకారము, మగ అహంకారము. ఆధిపత్యం అంటే పెట్రియల్ సొసైటీ. తర్వాత జెండర్ స్టీరియో టైపింగ్ అంటే మూర్ఖత్వము. మెన్ ఆర్ అంటే బెటర్ దాన్ ఉమెన్ అనేది ఆ సెంటెన్స్ మనం జెండర్ స్టీరియో టైపింగ్ అంటాం అనమాట. అంటే మూర్ఖత్వము, మేలే గొప్ప అనే అనుకోవడంని దాన్ని మూర్ఖత్వం అంటాం. సో జెండర్ బయాస్ ఇస్ ప్రిఫరెన్స్ ఆఫ్ మేల్స్ ఓవర్ గర్ల్ చైల్డ్. అండ్ feticide, infanticide అంటే feticide అంటే abandon అంటే getting abortion done because it is a female baby, and infanticide because a girl is born, they abandon the girl. మనం వింటూ ఉంటాం కదా. సో భ్రూణ హత్యలు అంటే గర్ల్ బేబీ అని తెలియగానే అబార్షన్ చేయించుకోవడం దాన్ని feticide అంటాం. ఇన్ఫాంటిసైడ్ అంటే మనం పేపర్ లో సోషల్ మీడియాలో చూస్తాం, మామూలుగా రైల్వే ట్రాక్ దగ్గర పడేశారు బికాస్ గర్ల్ బేబీ అనేది, అది ఇన్ఫాంటిసైడ్ అన్నమాట. So gender bias is neglecting female health issues also. So patriarchy అంటే ఇందాక చెప్పాను కదా, మగ ఆధిపత్యము అనేది. So in a system or a society where the women are largely excluded in decision making either at home or at family. So దీన్ని మగ ఆధిపత్యము అంటాము. జెండర్ స్టీరియోటైపింగ్ అంటే మూర్ఖత్వము. అంటే గర్ల్స్ ఇలా ఉండాలి, బాయ్స్ అలా ఉండాలి అని అనుకోవడాన్ని జెండర్ స్టీరియోటైపింగ్ అంటాం. So మామూలుగా మనకి in our society usually everybody thinks that girls should be faithful, emotional, tolerant, sympathetic, dependent, and boys should be like competent, logical, strategic, aggressive and independent. I don't think any one of you agree that this is right, because girls are nowadays where they are very competitive, they are aggressive, logical, very independent, and then they are reaching and they are doing everything and reaching heights in all fields. So this is absolutely not correct, that there is like general neutral society undali kani general stereotyping undakudadu. Sexism is discrimination typically against women based on sex and gender. And toxic masculinity cheppan kada ahankaramu. So ahankaranlo enti, I am a man, I am strong, I don't cry, I can control, I am boss, I am savior anukuntaru. Kani this is absolutely not correct, and this is of course ill health, mental ill health anamata. So whenever they think that it is a general neutral society, they have a good health, good mental health, and they can like really support women, and then they can be on the side of the woman. And why doctors for women want to talk about work? This is because all gynecologists, they are the first point of contact and they can realize the changes that are going through the women. And most of the health problems in women are deep rooted and they're connected to violence. And during pregnancy also, when the patients come, they tell about how they have the domestic violence, how they have been tortured at home. So we are the first point to the girls and women. So that is why we are talking about Dheera. So Dheera is a campaign which has been, as I told you, it has been started by Dr. Shantakumari to stop violence against women. And around 36,000 of obstetricians and gynecologists, we have started to sensitize, orient, train 5 lakh and above boys and girls from 9th to 12th grade and 15,000 teachers. So this is our target to sensitize. And every woman has to teach their son at home to respect women, because and at home also everybody should be respecting women, talking politely to the women, because children at home, that is boys at home, they are waiting, watching, listening. So definitely the change has to come from home. That is, we have to teach our male children. And we have to be courageous, and all of us should say no to violence against women, and let's tweet together at #Dheera together, and let us build a voice and let us be courageous, and our target of 1 lakh tweets should be achieved with all support of yours. So do the posters before you log out, and also give your feedback and receive the certificate. So this ends my first talk. So any questions?
Madam, we'll go ahead with the second talk before we interact.
Sure, I'll go ahead with my second talk.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to discuss about the types of violence against women. So the violence can be physical, psychological, or combination of physical and psychological violence. So acid attacks, honor killings, femicide, sexual violence, all these come under the physical violence. So the physical violence, first is the acid attacks. So she is Mrs. Lakshmi Agarwal, and she has been attacked at the age of 15 by a 32-year-old man because she has rejected him. And I think most of you have seen the movie Chapak, where Deepika Padukone has enacted her role. And acid attack is an assault throwing corrosive substance on to cause, yeah.
స్లైడ్ షో రావట్లేదు, స్లైడ్స్ చేంజ్ అవ్వట్లేదు.
అవునా, చూడండి ఇప్పుడు కూడా అవ్వట్లేదా శైలజ?
నో మేడం, స్లైడ్ షో రావట్లేదు.
యా, వన్ సెకండ్ ఐ జస్ట్.
We can see the registration and pre-test slide only.
Okay.
మేడం, సుశీల మేడం,
శ్రీమన్
అక్కడ ఎనేబుల్ ఎడిటింగ్ ఉంది కదా మేడం, అది క్లిక్ చేస్తే దెన్ స్లైడ్ షో అవుతుంది మేడం.
ఓకే, అది స్క్రీన్ షేర్ has stopped as a shared window is closed అని ఉంది.
మళ్ళీ షేర్ చేయండి మేడం.
ఒక్కసారి చేస్తాను. Now is it seen?
నో మేడం.
ఇప్పుడు వస్తుందా శైలజ?
No madam, we can't see your slides. You want some, Lata garu, can you share the PPT?
Okay, shall I share then?
One second, I'll just.
Okay.
Yeah, madam, we can see your slides. Yes, now it is slideshow. Go to the, yeah, it is slideshow now. Yes, madam, acid attack slide. We can't hear you, Susila madam. Susila madam, we can't hear you. Slides are changing. While Susila madam is trying to re-log in again some issue with her PPT, in the types of violence against women, she is going to tell us there is one type called voyeurism. Voyeurism means taking somebody's pictures or to say nude pictures without asking them for their permission. Who can tell me a movie in which this voyeurism was shown? Another movie? Wow. Very fast. So you should be answering our questions also after hearing to this presentation. Madam, we can see your slides. Just make it slideshow. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, madam. Just make it slideshow.
Yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yes, madam.
Yeah, so I was going through the slide actually. So this is Mrs. Lakshmi Agarwal. I think you can see that her face has been disfigured due to an acid attack. And then this is again to be considered as a violence against women. And whenever attack, I think the attack can be divided into one is threatening and other is attempting. So whenever somebody threatens, you have to report to the trusted adult or a police, or make sure that you stay away from the person who is threatening, and always travel with others. And under section 326B IPC, it is imprisonable not less than 5 years, may extend up to 7 years, and it is also finable. So if suppose somebody has been attacked, make sure that she gets the treatment. Talk to the parents, teachers, police, or anyone you trust. Make sure that she stays away from the perpetrator. And under section 326A IPC, the abuser can be imprisoned for not less than 10 years and may extend up to life imprisonment. And it is finable, and including the charges the abuser is supposed to pay. So coming to honor killings ante paruvu hatyalu. Ante murder of an individual, either an outsider or a family member, this is done because to protect, they think that they are going to protect the family reputation by murdering the person who has done the act. So this is not going to, definitely not going to bring some repute to the family, but in fact it is going to get disrepute to the family. So ఇది మీరు చూసి ఉంటారు పరువు హత్యలు అంటే కనుక ఉప్పెన అనే సినిమా రీసెంట్ గా వచ్చింది. అట్లాగే రంగస్థలం అనే సినిమాలో హీరో బ్రదర్ వీళ్ళందరూ ఏంటి అంటే వాళ్ళని చంపుతారు అన్నమాట. తప్పు చేశాడు అని ఫ్యామిలీ మెంబర్సే చంపుతారు. సో ఈ మూవీస్ అన్నిట్లో ఏంటి అంటే పరువు హత్యలు జరుగుతూ ఉంటాయి. ఈ పరువు హత్యలు అనేది ఫ్యామిలీకి డిస్ప్యూట్ తీసుకొస్తాయి కానీ ఇదేమి రిప్యూట్ తీసుకురాదు. సో ఇవన్నీ తప్పు. ఆల్ దిస్ కమ్ అండర్ violence against women. The next one is the femicide. It is a gender based crime and it arises when society prefers male over female, and women, it is a women based hate crime. This includes both infanticide and feticide. In that నేను చెప్పినట్టు killing of a newborn female child, feticide అంటే abortion of fetuses based on gender. సో మన మూవీస్ లో కూడా చూస్తూ ఉంటాము, హీరో గాని వాళ్ళు అడుగుతా ఉంటారు అనమాట. సో నీకు తల్లి కావాలి, చెల్లి కావాలి, తర్వాత గర్ల్ ఫ్రెండ్ కావాలి, మరి ఎందుకు గర్ల్ బేబీ వద్దు అనేది. సో మనకందరికీ తెలుసు కదా మగువే మూలధనము అనేది. సో మగువ లేనిదే, స్త్రీ లేనిదే అసలు సమాజమే లేదు. సో ఇట్లాంటి అబార్షన్స్ కానీ అబాండనింగ్ న్యూ బార్న్ బేబీస్ కానీ జరగకూడదు. సో దిస్ ఆల్సో కమ్స్ అండర్ వైలెన్స్ అగేన్స్ట్ ఉమెన్. ఇలాంటిది వైలెన్స్ ఉండకూడదు, ఉమెన్ ని సపోర్ట్ చేయాలి. So next, coming to the sexual assault. So it is an act in which a man sexually touches a woman or compels her to get naked forcefully or without her consent. So this is punishable under section 354 IPC 1 to 5 years. It is finable also. It causes long-term mental trauma to the victim. And if you see such act, you need to stop it and call for help, even though the abuser is your friend. So we know about the Nirbhaya Act, we know about the Disha Act also. And all this protect women against all types of sexual assault and including the rape and also the unwanted physical contact. So coming to the POXO Act, POXO Act 2012 protects minors from sexual abuse. So this act is for both males and females, that is, this covers boys and girls. So this act protects basically from sexual offenses. And if you are a survivor of the sexual assault, do not shame yourself. You are not to be blamed, you are not at fault. So don't feel like you are alone. You should not be afraid. You should speak up basically. And don't take bath because this washes all the evidences. So don't change your clothes, write down the sequences of what has happened and inform to the police. So reporting timely helps to preserve and prevent what are all the evidences. And don't be afraid to speak up, as you are never at fault and the abuser is bound to repeat the action if you don't speak up. So itla జరిగినప్పుడు డెఫినెట్ గా బయటకు వచ్చి స్పీకప్ అంటే చెప్పాలి. మీరు చెప్పకపోతే this is going to happen again, to same thing can happen to you or to your friends also. So once you speak up, the abuser will be punished and these such actions are going to get stopped. So psychological violence. Psychological violence is financial manipulations. This involves making or attempting a family member to be dependent financially. So ikkada oka example undanamata. Raj monitors his wife Ananya's bank account. Though Ananya is earning, all the accounts are managed by Raj and her in-laws. So she is made financially independent and she is not allowed to spend herself. This is called financial manipulation. Emotional abuse is undermining a person's sense of self-worth through constant criticism. So name calling, tarvata damaging a partner's relationship with children and not letting the partner to see her friends, family. Ivi the emotional abuse antaru. So example entante, Shreya is married to Ashok. Ashok earns less than Shreya. So every time he blames her, he behaves very badly to her and blackmails that he is going to divorce him. This constant fault finding behavior of Ashok has a toll on her mental health. So what can Shreya do? Shreya can as well talk to him or talk to her in-laws, tell them that he is doing something wrong, or she can approach police also. Bullying, continuous harassment, either verbally or physically, and can be in the form of cyberbullying or ragging. So it is like bullying is what we say is a continuous irritating or continuous harassment. So ikkada oka example undanta. Neil, a senior, asked Ria, his junior, who has rejected him. So he feels embarrassed. So because Neil has rejected, Ria has rejected Neil, he feels very embarrassed, and then he starts telling about rumors to everybody in the class or in the school. And then he also throws eggs and also pours on her water on her homework and teases her badly. So if you see such things, what would you do? So ila jarigite meer em chestaru anedi meeku teliyalannamata. Meer definite ga మీ టీచర్స్ కి రిపోర్ట్ చేస్తారు, ఆ అబ్బాయిని తప్పు అని చెప్తారు. ఇఫ్ ఆల్ దిస్ మీ పేరెంట్స్ కి చెప్తారు. ఇవన్నీ కాకపోతే అప్పుడు యు మే నీడ్ టు గో టు ది పోలీస్. So cyberbullying, online form of bullying and abuse. When technology is used to write aggressive, embarrassing or hateful messages that is about peers in order to harass, shame or control them. This includes threatening, abusing text messages, creation of embarrassing images or videos, sharing them, creating fake accounts, stealing online identities. Basically, the online form of abusing anamata. So, account share cheyochu, తీసేసేయచ్చు, ఆ అకౌంట్ లో వాళ్ళ గురించి అందరికి తెలిసేటట్టు షేమ్ఫుల్ మెసేజెస్ పెట్టచ్చు. సో దే ఆర్ దే ఆర్ హెరాసింగ్ ది గర్ల్. సో ఇట్లా సైబర్ బుల్లింగ్ అనేది ఆన్లైన్ చేసినప్పుడు డెఫినెట్ గా వీ నీడ్ టు ఇన్ఫార్మ్. సో ఎవరికి చెప్పాలి అనేది చెక్ యువర్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్, అది ఇన్స్టాగ్రామా లేకపోతే అది ఫేస్బుక్ అది స్నాప్చాట్ ఏంటి అనేది చూసుకుని వాళ్ళకి ఒక పాలసీ ఉంటుంది అనమాట. కస్టమర్ సర్వీస్ కి కాంటాక్ట్ చేయాలి. మేక్ షూర్ దట్ యు కలెక్ట్ సమ్ స్క్రీన్ షాట్స్ బిఫోర్ ఆస్కింగ్ దెమ్ టు బ్లాక్ యువర్ అకౌంట్. అండ్ దెన్ యూ కెన్ యాజ్ వెల్ ఫైల్ ఎ కంప్లైంట్ ఇన్ ది ఇన్వెస్టిగేటివ్ సెల్, దట్ ఇస్ సైబర్ ఇన్వెస్టిగేషన్ సెల్ అనేది ఉంటుంది. ఇలా ఆన్లైన్ బుల్లింగ్ ఎదుర్కొన్నప్పుడు అప్రోచ్ ది సైబర్ ఇన్వెస్టిగేషన్ సెల్. ఇట్ క్యాన్ బి ఇన్ ఎనీ సిటీ. సపోజ్ యూ హావ్ గాన్ టు ఢిల్లీ and then this has happened, you can inform to the Delhi police. So if you are unable to do so, lodge an FIR or reach the women oriented she teams. So lady police ni kuda approach avvachu. So next is the stalking. When an individual follows a woman and repeatedly tries to contact her without her consent. So this can occur digitally also, and this is punishable under 354D IPC from 1 to 3 years, and also it is finable. So ikkada oka example icharanamata. Sanjay is 17 years, starts to follow Meera, who's his classmate, and wherever she goes, Sanjay also goes there, takes her pictures and joins her tuitions. So his friends start encouraging him, no hero, no Bollywood hero ila ani cheppinappudu inka ekku chestu untadu anamata Sanjay. But this is definitely a bad thing, and everybody have to condemn in the class saying that you are doing wrong. Ala encourage cheyakudu no Bollywood hero ani atla ani. Voyeurism, watching or taking pictures of a woman without her consent and without the knowledge of the woman. This is punishable under section 354 IPC with imprisonment of 1 to 3 years, and if more convictions are there, so inke ekku saaru cheste ganaka he can be imprisoned from 3 to 7 years. I think this Dr. Shailaja was discussing with you all people. This was regarding the movie Drishyam. Eve teasing, unwanted remarks, sexual advances by a man to insult a woman in the public places is eve teasing. This is also punishable under section 294 IPC. And criminal intimidation, when someone is threatening to cause death, hurt grievously or to destroy your property. So idi ila chesinappudu deni criminal intimidation antam. So ee criminal intimidation is also punishable under section 503 IPC for not less than 2 years. It is finable or both. So next is the sexual harassment, unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favor, sexual remarks, pornography without consent. All this constitute sexual harassment. So this can be reported under section 354 IPC, which is punishable up to 3 years. So again, there is an example. So a farmer takes loan from the owner and he is not able to pay the loan. So he sends his daughter to work at the owner's place. So our owner enti ante idi adunuga teeskoni he tries to harass a girl. So this is not like we cannot support this, and then she has to inform her parents, she has to inform the police also if needed. So combination of physical and psychological is the domestic violence which we see at our households many a times.
Madam, 1 second. ఇక్కడ ప్రొజెక్షన్ ఆగిపోయింది. We are checking out what's gone wrong.
Yeah.
And it's coming here. Projector ki connection problem. That person who was looking after it. How many of your mothers are working? And among these girls, how many of your mothers decide how much they can spend on what they want to buy? Somebody else is deciding, or your mother has the freedom to decide what she wants to buy? Great. Any student who wants to interact while that projector issue is sorted out? Who wants to come forward and say something about what we are talking to you today? You need courage to come forward and speak. You are among your friends, your teachers with whom you interact daily. If you don't have the courage to come forward here, how will you have the courage to question something outside these premises? Any student who wants to get her picture taken and sent to UNICEF, this is an attractive option, right? Yes,
Yeah,
please.
actually, so much I've told now since like last 15 minutes. I think you people have all understood. At least I think you should come out and tell something about like really some incident, what you faced or what Dr. Shailaja is asking you.
Anything you want to say, it may not be related to what we have told you until now. Anything you feel about what we are telling you, anything you have faced or some friend of yours has faced. I thought you were coming forward to speak. You want? Yeah, sure. Tell your name first.
A very warm afternoon to everyone, respected ma'am who is here, and to all my friends. Today, as we can see, Dr. Ma'am, how she said about various things that we are going through, that we may not say to our parents or to our friends, but we have to definitely stand out and say these all things. Because I know most of you, I think, don't know the proper terms what ma'am has explained until ma'am told you about the meaning. I think everyone should stand out through various violences that you are facing at your home, maybe at your school or college, on the roads or etc. You should not just stop and just ignore the things that we are facing on the current situations. Maybe while we are going on the road, many of the boys or many of the people start teasing, they whistle on us. You should not just ignore them and go away. You should stand and you should not face that. And you have to raise your voice definitely. And this is really helpful the seminar that is going on, we have to just not sit and listen. We have to definitely implement all these things. We have to know our rights. We have to know the sections, and we should not stop or sit at home until
You'll be seen on the screen.
we should not sit in the home. We should go and we should definitely fight for our rights until the society stands for us. I think definitely this program that has been conducted is really helpful for the students. I really thank the management of Dheera, and I hope everyone just get advantage of it. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, she deserves that literary secretary post, madam. Yeah. Susila madam, you'll go ahead with the talk.
So I was just talking about the domestic violence. So can I continue from here, Shailja?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. So domestic violence is a violence that usually what we see at home or the household. So it need not be between only a married couple. It can be between somebody in the household, like in-laws, or it can be between brother-in-law, sister-in-law, everybody, anybody at house. So any pattern of behavior used to gain or maintain power or control over the partner is called the domestic violence. Most of the time, the women, they do not know it is like a violence that has been going on them, and they have been abused. And it is because it is very hard to believe that the trusted partner is so manipulative and is harassing the woman. So many a times it is like many of the women, they do not know they have been harassed until many of the cycles of domestic violence has taken place. So violence never contains love. So if it is violence at home also, she cannot just neglect saying that it is love. Examples are like using emotional abuse, economical abuse, blaming, isolation, threatening, all this come under that. And this is a slide which shows that initially the tension is caused by the husband. Later it becomes like an explosion. Then he apologizes and seeks help, and then again he is like very calm. And then it is like a honeymoon period where he asks her to be calm, and then again the cycle repeats with tension and explosion. So it is a cycle, and usually the woman after 2 to 3 cycles realize that it is violence against her. So the domestic violence has been brought under violence against women, and this act has been brought about in 2005. It covers physical, sexual, verbal, economic abuse, grants immediate protection of the woman, punishes the abuser with imprisonment up to 3 years. So ending war at one step. So we have like targeting each school to say that is in hundreds, that is at one step, and this is our goal to end war. So kindly do the post test and give your feedback, and you'll be awarded with the certificate. And be courageous and say no to violence against women. This has to start from your household with your that is from your brother also. You have to teach your cousins, your neighbors also, and then with your friends at schools, colleges. So let us be together, say no to violence against women. Let us tweet at Dheera, hashtag Dheera together. Building a voice is important against violence against women, and our target is more than 1 lakh tweets. Thank you all for your patient listening. Over to you, Shailja.
Hello. Hi everyone. I'm Dr. Navina. I'll be speaking the next after the 5th and 6th topics about Dheera. Good evening. Nice seeing you all here, oranges and blues. So orange is our color. Is Dheera theme color is orange. So it's good to see you all. యాక్చువల్గా సుశీల మ్యామ్ చెప్పినట్టు మీ తమ్ముళ్ళకి మీ అన్నలకి ఫ్రమ్ రైట్ నౌ హెల్ప్ చేయడం మానేయండి. మీ మమ్మీ నీళ్ళు కాసి వెళ్ళి పెట్టు, తమ్ముడు కదా, అబ్బాయి కదా, వాడు పెట్టుకోలేడు, లేకపోతే అబ్బాయి కదా వాడు చెయ్యలేడు. నో, వాడు చేస్తాడు, వాడు నీకన్నా స్ట్రాంగ్. సో రైట్ నౌ అపోజ్, ఇప్పటి నుంచి అపోజ్ చేయడం మొదలెట్టండి. అండ్ టీచ్ యువర్ కిడ్స్. మీరు రేపు పొద్దున్న పెద్ద అయ్యాక, మీరు పెళ్లి చేసుకున్నాక అమ్మాయిని అబ్బాయిని ఈక్వల్ గా చూడటం మొదలెట్టండి. దెన్ దట్ ఈస్ ద చేంజ్ we are expecting. That is the change, that is the thing we are hoping for by teaching you all these things. Okay, ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా? ఎనీవన్ కెన్ ఆస్క్ ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్.
We'll go ahead with the third presentation by Dr. Lata. Lata, please share your screen.
So we should have a neutral, gender neutral society rather than gender based society, right?
Yes or no? Just make it slideshow, Lata garu. Yes. Lata garu, we can't hear you. You have gone back to the slides. Slideshow has gone.
Am I visible? Audible?
Yeah, you're visible and audible, but make it slideshow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So till now you have seen Dr. Shushila has described all the different types of violence against women which are being seen in our society. Now I'll be discussing about the management strategies. Okay, we'll be talking about the introduction. Here you could describe the topic. We'll be talking about the introduction. We'll be talking about the role of the bystanders, what they have to do in case they are observing any harassment or violence going on in the place where the person is, and also about the gender divide. So as we have already discussed, you have done the registration and pre-test, and after completing this session, you need to complete the post-test and feedback so that you will be awarded a certificate from Foxy and UNICEF. So there are different factors which contribute to violence against women in our society. The most common is the social discrimination and the gender bias. In our society, the girls are considered as an inferior group than the boys. Always when a boy says something, that word is respected in our society. That should not be there. There should be equality between the girls and the boys. And there are other factors also which causes violence against women, which are the root cause for causing violence against women. Like the person, suppose the boys are taking excess of alcohol or drugs like cocaine and marijuana, all such boys, they have an altered mind. They always treat the girls as an inferior person and tries to cause some harassment or violence. And also if that boy has undergone a very troubled childhood, since childhood, he might have faced many instances where his mother has been beaten up by his father, or he has seen some children like his sister being beaten up by his father himself. Such things also has some point of root cause for causing violence against women at an adult age when the boy grows up. So there is also a superiority complex. Like boys are bossy things. They are always the bosses. Whatever they do is the correct thing. If he doesn't like any conversation going on between a girl and a boy, he tries to stop the girls' comments. So always superiority complex also has a cause for causing violence against women. Also, sometimes the boys have more of anger issues and more stressful conditions. These all cause the violence against women. So the root cause is nurtured since the childhood and is based on the way a child is brought up. Suppose in the childhood that person has faced such things, inequality, gender inequality since childhood, if he has seen, he tries to build up that same mindset and grows up and does the same thing with the girls when he is grown up in an adulthood. So this type of mindset has to be changed from the childhood itself. So this program is hence conducted for the school going children as well as the younger generation, so that their mindset has to be changed, so that these children are the future adults who can bring out this difference and can cause a uniform and gender equal society and respecting the women also. The slides are not. My slides
Slide
are
is not changing.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
So what do you do if you know someone is being harassed or someone is being abused? So first of all, don't be afraid at all. You should be strong enough and you should face the situation. Listen to the victim story. Whenever a person who has been harassed or who has been experienced such condition of being harassed, we should listen to the victim story. We should believe her and we should support her. And we should reassure them to stay brave. We should be brave and help the victim to also be brave. And we should believe the story. And we should not blame the victim. Why she went late in the night, or why did she wear such short dresses? We should not blame the victim, because the victim never wants, any girl never wants to get harassed or abused by any person. So we should not blame her. And we should keep an eye on the situation to make sure it is not getting too dangerous, and ask about their immediate plans, what the victim wants to do next after experiencing such abuse conditions or harassment. And we should respect her decision also. And if possible, we should advise her what better can be done to control the perpetrator or to punish the abuser. So we should also report to the higher authority, especially to the police. And if possible, if not available, at least to those person who are very reliable, like the teachers or the parents. And we should respect their decision also. We should have the resources to keep conversation going. We should talk to her continuously so that she breaks her silence and she tries to open up her decision, what she wants to do after this incident. We should be careful that any action taken do not harm you or the victim. So whatever we do should not harm the victim or yourself. It should give proper, it should be in such a way that action should be taken against the abuser or the perpetrator. What happened?
Your slide should stop, Lata Garu.
What is that? Repeated out.
Yeah.
So, what to do if you are being abused? When you are in a situation in which you are being abused, what you should do? You should first recognize the toxic behavior of the cycle of abuse. As in the previous slides, Dr. Sushila has already described you the cycle of abuse. That you might not be knowing that you are being abused in the society, in the family itself, under domestic violence. You are being pampered sometimes. Sometimes you are being scolded without any reason, and sometimes you are again praised for some silly things you do. Even then, and again after that, after a few days, again you are being scolded upon. you should recognize that behavior, and you should recognize that anything, if that abuse is being done again and again, you should immediately stop it. You should raise your voice against the abuser. You should protect yourself by leaving from the vicinity of the abuser. You should go away from that situation where you are being abused, and avoid escalating situations. Whenever you are facing such situations, you do not try to overcome the abuser when you are alone without any support. If you are having support, your friends are there, or your most reliable elders are there whom you believe on. If they are available, okay, you can talk to the abuser and can control the situation. But if you keep on escalating, means you are commenting on the abuser again and again, then the situation can go out of control and the abuser may become more aggressive. So you should avoid escalating situations, and then report the incident. Report the incident immediately to the nearest police station, or maybe the elderly person who are available and whom you rely on or believe them. So do not believe all the elders. You should be report to the person whom you have more of belief. And especially like in a school, suppose you can report that to the teacher or the principal. If you are not in the school, somewhere else, then you can report it to your uncle or your parents or the police. Of course, they are always available. So, and always the most important thing is always keep the evidence of the abuse by recording and photographing, because nowadays everybody is having the smartphone. So whenever there is one abuse being harassment or abuse being going on, you should secretly record and photograph it and save them, so that it will be used as a evidence in the future proceedings. And plan a safety kit whenever you go out from the house. Suppose like chili spray, these are all, and like a whistle, whenever there's some harassment or abusing going on, you can easily attract more people by whistling, or by throwing a chili spray over the abuser, so that you can get away from the situation and run away from the situation. And let someone you trust know of the abuse. So like a friend or neighbor, your doctor, or the police officer. So you should speak out. Don't let the abuser rob you of your voice. Whenever any abuse, any harassment has happened and you have experienced such situation, you should always speak out what has happened, and you should always control the abuser. You should always give a complaint against the abuser to the police or the trusted elderly people. Because when you keep silent, the abuser becomes more he becomes he tries to abuse more people. So we should not allow that thing to happen. And claiming your voice back is difficult, but yes, believe your voice have the power. So speaking up is the first step to end the violence against women. Take a stand, because your abuser is afraid of your voice. మీరు ఆ అబ్యూజర్ కి అగేన్స్ట్ గా కంప్లైంట్ ఇవ్వలేదు అనుకోండి, సో he will try to abuse some more people like you. So definitely you should speak out, though it might be very difficult in the first situation, but you should speak out. Later on, you will get more support from your fellow people, and that abuser will be punished ultimately. So don't let down another generation of victims. So give the victim a platform to speak. Believe the victim. Don't blame the victim. Stand up for the justice. Don't let people forget that once someone commits abuse, they are prone to doing it again and again. So that's why we should always break the voice, break the silence, and let the victim experience, give the complaint to the police or the elders, so that the appropriate action is taken against the abuser. You should be so inni problems jarugutunnappudu, you should be knowing about the different safety measures which are available in the smartphones. You should download and familiarize yourself with the safety apps like a Smart Seher Woman Safety Shield Protection. with you, scream alarm, suspects registry, be safe, Abhaya. All these are available in the app stores. You can download it and get used to how you can use that, so that any difficult situation you are in, you can immediately take use of these apps and inform the police, concerned people. You should always, whenever you're going out, you should always share your live location with those who you trust, and take pictures of the taxi driver and the license plate. Whenever you're going alone in a taxi, you should always take the picture of the license plate as well as the driver if possible, and post it to your very trusted people of your relation or the friends. In case of emergency, you activate the location app also, so that where you are can be located easily, and proper action can be, proper safety measure can be taken to save you. So this is the distress signal or the help sign, in which the thumb is folded, and then the fingers, all the 4 fingers are facing the camera, and tuck the thumb. So this is the distress symbol and matter. Whenever you are in a such situation and you are not able to talk, you immediately can show this symbol, so that the other person can understand it, that you are in trouble, and immediate help can be taken by that person. And this should be explained to all the people near you, means your family or friends, etc. If you see the distress signal, what you have to do? If you see the signal, check in with the personal safety. First, you check in whether you are safe or not. You have the safety things are available with you or not, to find out what they need and what you can do. ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఇట్లాంటి సిచ్యువేషన్ లో ఒక అమ్మాయిని ఒక అబ్బాయి హెరాస్ చేస్తున్నాడు పబ్లిక్ ప్లేస్ లో, and there are nobody in the near the bus stand, suppose near the bus stand. If that person, that boy is giving various abusing the girl in the bus stand, what you have to do is you should distract the person, and you should even you might be having a whistle, a small whistle may help you. If you whistle, blow the whistle, then many of the people surrounding may come there and save that girl. So if you find a threat of danger, call the local police and the helplines mentioned later. We'll mention you in the next few slides. So these 4 numbers are very important, like Women's Domestic Abuse Helpline 181. All these things should be kept in mind, should be recorded in a phone, so that whenever required, we immediately can contact them. Like All India Women Helpline, Women in Distress, is 1091. In the same way, there are helplines for specialized cases like Domestic Violence Helpline, that is 0800 150 150. And in the same way, the child line to report the child abuse, that is 1098. So these numbers we should get familiar to, or at least we should save in our cell phones, so that in case such situation arises, we can immediately respond and contact these helplines, so that immediate help is obtained to save the person who is getting abused. So what is the reporting process? How we need to report? So report the incident to the local police or the special police unit, which is open 24 hours a day. So record statement for police within 24 hours, so that all the sequences is not forgotten and the proper statement is given to the police. So go to the hospital or the shelter home for medical examination by a female doctor, and they record the statement for the magistrate also. This special court shall complete the trial within 1 year. So girls are strong, not only psychologically or mentally, but they are also strong physically also. In any situation, in any difficult situation where a boy and a girl are present, the boys cannot face that difficult situation. Only the girls can face it and get through the situation easily. So let's keep them that way. Okay, so courageous together, we should say no to violence against women, and we should tweet together and Dheera together. So Dr. Sailaja,
Yeah. One second.
I'll be continuing the second topic also.
Before you continue, some girl will come forward and show me the universal distress signal. Yes.
That will be
Anybody?
better.
All of you want to show it together?
Yeah, everybody.
Wow. Video. We'll post it in the group.
So this
Yes.
symbol should be explained to all your near and dear people also, so that everybody knows about this.
Lata garu, stop sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what is the child helpline number? Yeah. Even if you don't remember, easy way to remember, 1098. What is the domestic helpline number? All India Women Distress Helpline number? Excellent. Lata madam, go ahead presentation. Yeah. A big round of applause for all of you.
So next I'll be talking about the role of active bystanders. So what the bystander should do.
Lata garu, slideshow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So suppose some harassment or abusement has been going on in a place. We are there in and around that place. So what we should do in such situations, so that the victim is saved from such situations. So as we have already discussed about the posters and feedback, you need to fill up all these things after completing the session. So who is a bystander? An individual who observes an act of violence, discrimination, or other problematic behavior, but are not its direct perpetrator. So the bystanders may be active or passive. Active means the bystanders who take action and try to stop it. And the passive ones are there who do not act or intervene. They simply go away from the situation, from that place, saying that I'm getting late to work, I have something important to do, and they don't take any action to save the victim. This may be due to social influence, because of fear of retaliation. Maybe if I get involved in this situation, maybe I may get repeated calls from the police to come to the police station and give the statements, or some fear may be there. So these are called the passive bystanders. They do not do any action, or they do not intervene at all. So we should discuss about the 5 Ds, which are the victims of active bystanders. The first one is the distract. D stands for distract. It's a subtle and safe way to intervene. The aim is to disrupt or derail the incident. If some harassment is being going on, you just go to the place and try to distract the abuser. You try to pretend that you are lost. You just ask for some address, where this address is there, or what is the phone number. Just want a cell phone to call somebody because my cell is out of charge, or try to talk something irrelevant and try to distract the perpetrator. Pretend you know the person being harassed. Sometimes, suppose that a girl is being harassed, just call her and say hello to that person. Hey, I have seen you previously, why you are not available these days, or something. Try to pretend that that person who is being harassed, you know her very well. Talk something irrelevant and take the attention of the harasser. So this distraction dilutes the situation, dilutes the perpetrator's tendency to harass further the victim. The second D is the delay. Delaying can reduce the severity. Ask the victim if she is okay. Offer to accompany her to her destination or sit with her for a while. After you have come across with that harassment, try to spend some time with the victim, so that the victim gets relaxed after some time, so that her tension is relieved, and she tries to open up what the person has the perpetrator has done it, so that the complaint can be taken completely in a systematic manner, in a manner, and so that the police complaint can be filed. And the other D is the delegate. Delegation is when you ask for assistance, for a resource, or for help from a third party. You alone cannot handle that situation. In such conditions, you ask for help from a third person. For example, if you are near a shop, you ask the shopkeeper to come and help that victim along with you. Or if you are in a bus, so ask the co-passenger or the bus conductor to intervene. Or if you are in school, contact the teacher for help. So that is the delegation. The fourth D is the document. First, assess the situation. Is anybody helping the person being harassed? If not, use one of the other Ds, if like distraction, delegation. And then if someone else is already helping out, assess your own safety. And only then, if you are safe, then only go ahead and start recording. Always ask the person who was harassed what they want to do with the recording. So always document what, because of the availability of these smartphones, you can always record the situation without knowing that perpetrator getting the evidence that you are recording the situation, so that this can be used for filing the complaint also in the future to support the victim. Always ask the person who was harassed that they do not what to do with the recording. Always first confirm whether the victim wants this document or not. Never post it online. Using an image or footage of a person being victimized without the person's consent may make the person feel even more depressed and can lead to a level of visibility that person may not want. So publicizing another person's traumatic experience is no way to an effective bystander. So always that story or the footage which you have recorded of the victim should not be posted online without the consent of the victim, because not everybody wants it to be publicized. Some of them, this can be used as an evidence for the complaint filed against the victim, against the perpetrator, but not as a public post that may hurt the victim. The fifth D is the direct. Directly respond to harassment by naming what is happening or confronting the harasser. This can be risky. The harasser may redirect their abuse towards you. It may escalate the situation. So be clear, confident, but cautious. So directly hitting the harasser can cause harm to you also. So before taking this step, you should be clear that what you are doing, whether you are strong enough to handle that perpetrator or not. You should be very clear. So the golden rule is only intervene if it's safe for you to do so. If not safe, call the police 100 or the child helpline 1098. There are other ways to get involved as a bystander. So organize actions like writing stories, posters, or nukkad natak. Means small skits. You can form small skits in your locality or in a school or any small gatherings. And if you know some organization is working for it, donate your time and ideas and work with the organization. And also appreciate someone practicing bystander intervention. The wrong things to say. Why did she go at night? Why did she park her scooter there? Why did she go alone? Why did she call her sister instead of 100? So these are all, you should not blame the victim, because the victim never wants to get harassed by anyone. So it's the situation that is not under her control. So victim blaming should never be done and never should be done. So again, I want to remind you about the post-test and feedback. Do fill up after the session so that you'll get a certificate from our prestigious Foxy and UNICEF. And courageous together, we should say no to violence against women. And it should be a multiple tweets of almost 1 lakh. #Dheera together. Let's say no to violence against women. Thank you for your hearing, patient hearing.
Thank you, Lata Garu. That was a very clear elaboration of the 5 Ds. Now, I don't want a united answer. One person, please come forward. Or you sit there, I'll come to you. Anyone who is ready to speak? Yes, come. Come out, come out.
So good evening, everyone. Respected dietaries and ma'am present over here. First of all, thank you, Dr. Susila ma'am, Dr. Lata ma'am, and then Dr. Navina ma'am for spending your valuable time with us to explain what is Dheera. That is courageous. We are all together. And from Siddharthians girls, we assure that we will be an active bystander by following all the 5 Ds, so that because you have explained us about the 5 Ds in detail, and we use them in the right way. And there are many girls who couldn't express about their problems they face near bus stands or in buses or anywhere. But you made us know what are the numbers even to call in emergency purpose. I think many of them also don't know that about 181 and 1098. So we thank you for that, ma'am. I just remember 3 Ds: direct, delay, and then distract. Delay. You have to delay the situation.
You have to delay the feelings the victim is going through. Just keep speaking to her. That will reduce the severity of the issue. Because I've seen people going into depression, even trying to commit suicide after facing these situations. So if you know somebody who has gone through all this, just keep speaking to them. That makes a huge difference. Actually, because we are all females, we know that ఎవరికైనా ఏదైనా చెప్పాలనిపిస్తే వాళ్ళ మధ్యలో కామెంట్ చేస్తే నచ్చదు. 10 నిమిషాలైనా పావుగంటైనా మనం మాట్లాడుతూ ఉంటే వింటూ ఉంటే you'll say you're great company in spite of that person not saying anything during that conversation. Similarly, if you come across a victim, just keep speaking to her. That makes a huge difference. Just listen to her. Don't say anything. Don't make any comments. Just make her feel that you are there with her. You'll support her, whatever her decision, whether she wants to make the issue public or not, whether she wants to inform anybody or not, whether she wants to share the recording with anyone or not. Just respect her decision and stay with her. One thing I'm telling you, any person who is committing these acts is not a very brave person. Actually, he's a coward. Only cowards do these things. Only if you speak out and say against him, he will not dare to repeat this action. మీరు మాట్లాడకపోతే ఇవాళ మీ ఫ్రెండ్కి జరిగింది రేపు మీకు కూడా జరగవచ్చు. ప్లీజ్ అండర్స్టాండ్ దట్. హ్యావ్ ద కరేజ్ టు ఇన్ఫార్మ్ యువర్ టీచర్, పేరెంట్స్, ఎల్డర్స్, ఫ్రెండ్స్, ఎనీవన్. మనకి ఏదైనా జరిగితే ఒక్క మనిషితో షేర్ చేసుకుంటే ఆ ఫీలింగ్ చాలా తగ్గుతుంది. జస్ట్ స్పీక్ అవుట్, టెల్ ఇట్ టు సంబడి. If you want to report it, you report. Don't want to report it, we respect your decision. But please come out, break the silence. That is the change we are trying to bring about in you. And the next 2 presentations, Dr. Navina is going to take. After seeing that online, so many students around here, she ran from her hospital and came here. She said, I want to be physically with these girls. She's going to take the next presentation now. Sriman, we want you to share the presentation. We don't have it in the laptop here.
Okay, ma'am.
Number 5.
My screen is visible, ma'am.
Yeah, Shriman, yeah, screen is visible. Yes, thank you, Shriman. So I'm just going to speak about bridging the gender divide and decoding the peer pressure. These both are like causes of war, violence against women. So what we do, what is bridging the gender divide? Next slide, please. So as you all know, you have done the registration pre-test and all. You need to do a post-test and then give us a feedback so that how whether we can improve this program a much lot better by your feedback. And also you will get a certificate from the UNICEF. Next slide, please. So what is gender divide? By seeing these names here, whom do you identify with these names? So does that names define whether they are a girl or a boy? Shiva, it can be used for both boys and girls. Harsha can be used with boys and girls. Nayan, Nirmal, Gunjan, Nihar, Kashish, everywhere. Like we see by name, it is not a gender based or gender divide. And then next slide, please. Genders are nothing but socially constructed concepts. Next slide, please. So there are some characteristic traits given like they define, usually the society defines these characteristics should be by only boys can be like this or girls can be like this. Girls can be sentimental, boys cannot be sentimental. Girls can cry but boys cannot cry. All these things, these are from ages the society is building in our minds that girls have to behave, they have to have such characteristic traits, and boys should be like this. No, there is no such thing. Even boys can cry, girls can be brave, girls can talk, they can raise their voice, they can stand up against violence. Next, please. So conditioning, this conditioning is happening from many years, long back. So now we came forward with the initiative of a Foxy president that we need to break that conditioning. Stereotypes are so ingrained in our culture that they become a habitual response. Usually you might have listened, చాలా మంది ఇళ్లలో వినే ఉంటారు, ఏంట్రా అమ్మాయిలాగా ఏడుస్తూనే ఉంటారు అబ్బాయిని. What is that? He can cry, he has emotions. Even we, it's not that each and every time girls cry, రైట్. ఏం నేనైతే మా ఇంట్లో నేను ఏడవను, లిటరలీ నేను ఏడవను. సో మీడియా అండ్ ఫిల్మ్స్ రివార్డ్ వైలెంట్ మేల్ బిహేవియర్. మీడియాలో చూపిస్తారు వైలెంట్ గా మేల్ ఉంటే హీఈస్ హీరోయిక్ అని. ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్ విచ్ ఆర్ మేకింగ్ సైలెంట్లీ దే ఆర్ ఇన్ అవర్ మైండ్, మనల్ని ట్యూన్ చేస్తున్నాయి. సో మేల్స్ క్యాన్ బి వైలెంట్ అని, మేల్స్ క్యాన్ డూ ఎనీథింగ్ అని, మేల్స్ క్యాన్ బి అగ్రెసివ్ అని అలా. So parents are more likely to use physical punishment with sons than with daughters. All some of the other might have experienced like boys kanna like boys punishments ekku boys ki ivadamu, and then more likely to tolerate violent behavior in boys than in girls. Abbai kopanga violent ga behave cheste, that is okay, he is a boy అని అనడము. Those are all the things that are conditioning us. And when girls show aggressive opinions or leadership, they are known as bossy rather than responsible. So girls ఎవరైనా aggressive గా ఉండి, they're opinionated గా ఉండి, if they're showing if they're voicing out their opinions, then those girls are termed as bossy. Even we girls, some of you might name your friends like who is being opinionated or like that, see she's acting bossy or otherwise. So stop that thing from right now. Everyone can have an opinion. Each and every individual can be brave, aggressive, violent in the situation, particular to situations. Next slide. So is gender bias a social evil? Now coming in Indian society, women are oppressed officially, unofficially, and discrimination starts at very young age when girls are expected to do household chores, behave submissively, emphasized when women are expected to leave work to raise kids. So many of your parents, like mothers, might have worked before you were born, and after she's given birth to you, she might have stopped working. So these all things prevail in our society. Workplace discrimination at work causes pregnant women to be fired, and a massive wage gap between men and women, and male babies are preferred over female babies till date, till now. As a gynecologist, we face a lot of these things. Usually they come and ask whether it's a girl or a boy while we are doing a scan. For sure, like we answer them, we'll say that baby is healthy, it is not a boy or a girl, we can't say it, it is against law. They literally persist, they stay outside the door. I have seen women asking my assistants, you might have seen the scan, no చూసుంటావుగా scan, no చెప్పు madam చెప్పరు కానీ no చెప్పు. So that should go off, that we have to educate. So okay, no woman is safe from, sorry, someone, Oppo A5 మీదేనా madam? No woman is safe from sexual harassment such as eve teasing and catcalling. No woman, no girl is safe, no woman is safe. We have to be brave enough to make ourselves stand against that and stop that eve teasing and all. And women are called goddesses, but sadly that unworthy, they're not being respected like that. Next slide please. We don't want to be treated like goddesses, right? We just want to be treated like humans. So it is not a level playing field. Wherever you go, it is never a level playing field. We have to fight for our rights. Some countries still don't give women voting rights, and women still don't have equal access to education. Child marriages and dowry are still prevalent. Women are not given opportunities at work. One man's voice is worth more than that of a many woman. That saying goes on, goes on, goes on. We need to change that. Women have less access to financial resources, right? Is it right? No? That's great. So there is not enough representation for women in many fields, including politics and all. So if you see politics also, very few women right now. I think few from last few years back, all the women are coming up and standing in elections and all, doing their things, doing good things as well. Even last 10 years back also, we used to have very few IAS officers. Right now girls are topping IAS. That's really very good. That's a good change. It's happening in the society. Next please. So all genders have to work together as allies. It's not that మీకు ఇప్పుడు చెప్పేసాము girls have rights, boys are not used to అని ఇంటికెళ్ళి వాళ్ళని అనగ తొక్కొద్దు. ఈక్వల్ గా ఉండండి, ఈక్వల్ గా ఉండటానికి ట్రై చేయండి, నేర్పించండి, ఈక్వల్ గా ఉండడం నేర్పించండి. ఈక్వల్ గా కలిసి మనం ఒక గుడ్ సొసైటీని వి విల్ ఫార్మ్ అని చెప్పండి. So to create a gender neutral, gender responsive and equal society, and to eliminate gender inequality and gender bias. Gender based prejudice is not an issue of one gender. Even in some societies girls are more dominant than boys. So gender based not, we want gender neutral society. Okay, next slide. Boys, so no boys here. It's not enough to not commit violence. You must be willing to take 8 active steps to ensure that no other men commit such violence. So when you go home now today, whether you teach to your brothers or cousins or anything, so it's not that they're not committing violence, then I'm good because I'm not committing violence. It's not that. Ask him to educate someone who is committing violence, or stop them from committing that violence, so that it can reach many, many, many young minds like you. Next. So first thing is how to bridge that, how to bring about that gender neutral society is share the care. Women take 3 times more unpaid care and domestic work than women. Women spend energy and emotional labor at home with family instead of advancing career or looking after themselves. Is it true, girls? Okay. So appreciate those who help you unconditionally. Respect the sacrifices being made for you. Offer to help wherever you can. Encourage women to take up their own interests. You can even say thanks to your mother. How many of you have said thanks to your mother for helping out? Good. Nice. Nice. So nice. So we feel so great. Even I have 2 kids. One girl is studying 10th standard and the other one is in 4th class. Whenever they say thank you, Amma, I feel so proud. Even I don't remember that I didn't have sleep last night. I don't remember that I am not sleeping for at a stretch 8 hours and preparing the lunch for them. I don't feel that. I just feel happy if they say thank you. That's all. You just need to say thanks, Amma, for the help you have done for me today. I'm so happy that you have done this. Those are the words that your mothers will be so happy. Next, please. So this is for the boys. They have to be held accountable, and they have to learn how to respect men and women equally. Be aware of their own behavior and make sure you are open to criticism. Change yourself when you see toxicity. For you also, when you see toxicity, change yourself. If you're seeing something that is not good, then you change. Or if the behavior is from you, you change yourself. Then start changing the others in your family or surroundings or in your college or anyone else. Next slide, please. So change notions of traditional masculinity. So example like man up, don't cry, be strong, like I was discussing with you. ఆడపిల్లల ఏడవకు ఇలాంటివి మనం యూజ్ చేయొద్దు. Let us stop using them. If we start now, then our children also will follow us. Then treat everyone the same way regardless of gender. Allow yourself the freedom to break norms and challenge stereotypes. Question those that do not allow you to challenge stereotypes. Question చేయండి అమ్మమ్మల్ని, నానమ్మల్ని, అత్తల్ని, బాబాయిల్ని, అందరినీ. If they say that you should not go out, ask them why you should not go out. Say them that I'm safe, I have a mobile, I have prepared myself with a safety kit, I can go out, I'm responsible, I can bear myself responsible for anything happens to me అని అంత రెస్పాన్సిబుల్ గా ఉండి అలా మాట్లాడండి. And then do not excuse men just because they are men. Never ever excuse men because they are men. And make the sensible male fashionable, not the alpha male. So sensible ga evaraithe unnaro vallani fashionable ga treat cheyandi, not someone who is aggressive or heroic ga behave chesi ammayalni edipinchadam. Vallani fashionable ga tayar cheyakandi. Okay, next please. So sensitive men will change the next generation, right? Make your brothers sensitive. So men can cry, they can break down, they can get anxious, they have emotions, they can feel insecure, and even men can get abused, and men have mental illnesses. It's not unmanly to struggle. So if their struggles, it's not unmanly, it's their struggle. They have to struggle. Let's support men, let's encourage men. Don't belittle or silence men. Men struggle too. So this talk is not about only women. It's about the gender equality, gender equal society. Next, please. So respect others' choices. When someone makes you uncomfortable, ask yourself why you are uncomfortable. Even if it's with the behavior or with their messages or anything else, if they are making you uncomfortable, ask yourself why you are feeling uncomfortable. Examine your biases. Just analyze yourself, what is happening. Consider the circumstances that make your life different from yours. Do not judge or shame them for their choices. Okay, so first start questioning, analyzing yourself, what is happening. Then you don't judge. Never ever judge anyone. Okay, next slide please. So understand consent. What is consent? I think many of you have done a pre-test, right? So no means no. It's not can be, could be, or either be or ever be, like that. If you say no, they have to understand that's a no. No holds good for no. If yes, it is yes. If it's no, it's no. So hasi to is, see, like there are some sayings like hasi to fasi. If a girl laughs us, do something, then that's the end of it. It's not like that, right? Those phrases like clear consent is the word yes, nothing else. If you are giving consent for a person to behave like this with you, if you say yes, then that is an yes. Okay, she was asking for it, why couldn't you boys, can your boyfriends or someone can ask, like, see, that girl is like this, why can't you be like her? Or it's not that. It's your comfortable levels, your safety levels. Where can you tolerate what behavior you have to decide. Boys will be boys is never acceptable and never victim blame. Consent is a freely given, reversible, informed, enthusiastic, and specific. Okay. So if you don't want to go out with someone, if someone, even if your cousins or your relatives, say no and stand for that no. And even till now, like me, నేను నా ఇంట్లో నా ఎవరైతే అబ్బాయిలు ఉన్నారో వాళ్ళకి టీచ్ చేస్తాను. If a girl says no, Nana, it's no. That's all. Don't go after her. Don't pester her అని చెప్తాను. So start teaching your siblings that if a girl says no, that is a no. Don't go after her. Don't tease her. Don't pressurize her so that she comes and tells something to you, yes, or something like that. Okay. Next slide, please. Call out sexism and harassment. All women experience sexual harassment at least once in their lifetimes. This is so true. Even we faced so much of that sexual harassment. All women experience sexism once a week. Call out such behavior in a safe and respectful manner. If you see that kind of behavior, call out that behavior and then be an active bystander. Do not excuse friends, relatives, or co-workers. Do not excuse if someone is behaving toxically, or if someone is not behaving in a respectful manner. Call out that, even if they are your brothers or your relatives or your co-workers. So sexism, see it, name it, and stop it. Next slide, please. Challenge gender stereotyping. Question your own stereotypings and prejudices. Challenge any stereotypical notions of gender, like women are not good at driving. Counter the argument with facts, right? So you just start acting. If someone says, usually they say, you can't drive a bicycle, you can't drive a scooty, girls will stop, girls will go slow, all that. Those are not like, it's not like girls. There are girls who are race car drivers. There are girls who does a lot cycling, number one cycling, doing things and all. Girls are stronger, they can do anything. It's not that girl means she can't drive. You can drive, right? We can drive. Good. Next, please. So believe survivors. Who are the survivors are the victims who have faced these sexual harassment or violence and all, and they have survived. So believe them. Every time a woman speaks up about her experiences and she is not believed, when we are not believing her, then the toxic environment is flourishing, toxic culture is flourishing. So when you hear a survivor story, listen to her, believe her, support her. Be an ally, offer unconditional support. Support the victim, support the survivor, not like asking her again questions or saying that why you are there, why did you not call the police, or why did you go out at that time. Just don't judge her, just be a supporter to her. Next, please. So we have to change this dialogue. Whenever if you go, if you search in a Google, women should, then the next sentences will come in Google. Just search once. Women should stay at home. Women should not work. Women should be seen and not heard. We have to change that from that notion. We have to change that notion. How can you change the narrative? How can we change that? By making a gender neutral society. Next, please. So we can do anything and be anything. I think all of you believes in that, right? That's nice. Next slide, please. So this is again about the post test and feedback. Just do it and make sure that you get a certificate and all. Next slide, please. Decoding the operation.
Sriman, go ahead and share the next PPT. How many of you have seen the movie Pink? Yeah, Vakil Sab. What is that movie about? One word answer. One word answer. That movie is about consent. If a girl agrees to go out with a boy, she has a right to take back that consent at any point of time. That is what you should understand by the term that consent is reversible and consent is specific. Specific for that question only. Just because a girl is ready to go out for coffee with him doesn't mean she will come out for a movie also. Consent was given only for coffee. It was not a blanket consent for anything he wants to do. Madam will elaborate further on consent and also talk about peer pressure in the next presentation. Yes, Reeman, the next presentation.
So just a few more slides. Will not take much more of your time. I think all of you have to go home. Me too. I too have to go home. So decoding peer pressure. Peer pressure is one way of the violence. Yeah. Okay. So peer pressure is one prong of violence against women. So next slide, please. What should we do to make it subsided, to make it less pressurable and all? Shriman, next slide, please. So our main highlights today are in peer pressure, identifying that toxic environment, what is good versus bad touch, and the concept of consent and the power of no, right? Next slide, please. So registration and pre-test already you have done. We'll do a post-test and feedback. Next. So what is peer pressure? It can be any influence that peers have on each other to conform to behaviors and personal habits of a group. Most of the time, peer pressure is too subtle to identify but has enormous effects. Next, please. So there are types of peer pressures. There's spoken, unspoken, direct, indirect, negative, and positive peer pressures. Spoken is when one peer openly persuades the another. Unspoken is when one peer is persuaded by exposure to the behavior. Direct is when one peer has to make an on-spot decision. Example, handling over a cigarette. Like if someone is smoking and they're giving you a cigarette on the spot, you have to face that. You have to say no if you don't want to smoke. So that is the thing. And indirect, when a peer overhears other persons gossiping and changing behaviors due to indirect pressure. Negative, when a peer is pressured into behavior that is against their moral code. And positive, when a peer is influenced by behavior that is healthy and responsible. So there is a positive peer pressure as well, where you behave healthily, positively against all these negative toxicity. Next, please. So signs of a toxic environment. How do you identify a toxic environment? When your friends make you feel bad about yourself, that is toxic environment. Your friendship is on their terms and you're never sure where you stand in that friendship. And gossip is a constant about friends in that group. Effort is only one-sided when they don't respect your boundaries, when you feel pressure to do things you don't want to do, and when there is a competition to be popular, and you're terrified one mistake could make them leave you, then that is a toxic environment. They encourage your worst traits, then that is the toxic environment. You have to identify that. Next, please. How to avoid uncomfortable situations. How to avoid that. Avoid going out with the strangers. Make sure your parents or siblings are aware of your whereabouts, where you are, where are you going. Make sure that your parents or siblings know about that. Take a phone with you. Respect other people's boundaries. Draw boundaries. Be confident to say no to anything that you're not comfortable with. Don't compromise on that. Don't compromise that your friend, your best friend is asking, but you don't want to do it, but you want to do it because he's pressuring you or she is pressurizing you. Say no directly. If you don't like it, say no. Don't hesitate to say no. dial, if you're not, if you feel a sense of danger, dial 100, which is very easily you can do that. Next, please. So, what boys to avoid and what girls to avoid? Learning to differentiate toxic people is the first step for cleansing toxicity. So, boys have to avoid boys who are against feminism, boys who are rude to their mothers, boys who don't respect your physical boundaries, boys who pressure you to send nudes, boys who starts fights, boys who uses slurs like words like horse, slut and all, boys who comment on a girl's appearance without her asking for an opinion, boys who make rape jokes. These are all the behaviors which you boys have to avoid, and girls you have to avoid. Girls who think it's unmanly to cry, girls who hit or slap their boyfriends, girls who are totally materialistic, girls who call other girls bitches, girls who don't respect your physical boundaries, girls who call you a girl thinking it's an insult, girls who don't think men can be victims of abuse and rape. So change your behavior. You have to avoid these kind of boys, and boys has to avoid that kind of girls. And put yourself first, set boundaries that you're comfortable with. Boundaries should sound like, I will end the phone call if you continue to shout at me. That these are the examples. I can stay for half an hour, not more than that. Thank you for your offer. Unfortunately, I can't make it. If someone is asking for a movie, you don't want to go, you can do that. And I'm not comfortable discussing that. Please do not discuss it with me. All these dialogues are where you can put yourself first and start avoiding that toxic behavior. I'm not comfortable with what I do. I'm not comfortable with that. If you do it again, I'll have to leave. All these things. Next slide, please. So this is the good touch versus bad touch. I think all of you know about good touch versus bad touch. So now the latest definition is good touch is only hands and the green color. Only your palms or hands is a good touch. And bad touch is the red areas, that is your private parts, your chest area and your face area. And may not like are the ones which are like light greenish in color, mauve green. So these are like it's not like only the good touch is with hands only. Wherever the other person touches you, that is a bad touch or you're not comfortable with. Just make sure you learn that, you teach that, and you say no. Peer pressure can make it feel like all touch is acceptable, which is not true. Someone may pressure you, say that if we touch here, that is okay. No, it's not okay. You have to know what is good touch and what is bad. The concept of consent. Consent is a permission for doing anything. Always ask for consent. Do not assume consent. Respect consent. Never coerce consent. Yes means one thing only. Freely given consent where both persons meets wants and desires and are met, and an integral part of their interactivity is maintained. No means no, stop means no, turning away means no, I don't want to means no, showing you away means no, leave me alone means no, passed out means no, I'm not ready means no, pushing you away means no, I don't feel like it means no, drunk or drugged means no, get away from me means no, screaming means no, don't means no, and crying means no. All these means no. That's all. You need to know what is no. Next, please. I pinned. Stand up to peer pressure. Just say no, no, no. That's all. Don't say maybe if you want to say no. Okay. Don't never say maybe if you want to say no. And leave the scene and say see you later. Make up an excuse like I just remembered I have to do something, talk to, or be at such a place, got a run. If you're being pressurized by your pace and you don't want to be in that environment, make sure that make up an excuse. Use humor. Like if my parents found out I'm doing this, they would keep me in my room locked up for 30 years. Like that, change the situation, change the subject, or suggest a better idea. Like if they are pressurizing you to do something, just distract them, ask them let's go and do other things and all. So remember to always listen to your gut instinct. There is a
thing called gut instinct. If it says that you're not safe in that environment, just listen to it. Don't override it. Okay. Next, please. So thinking of a better future for our future generations, never young to raise voice, to respect women or to raise voice against violence against women. That's all. This is the last. Yeah, next, please. See, this is this Malala. I think you know about her. So this is a dream. I want every girl to know that her voice can change the world. Next slide, please. I think.
Thank you, Dr. Navina. At the outset, I would like to thank Vijayalakshmi Garu, Padmaja Garu, and Deepti Garu and Anusha Garu, who made this program a huge success. I put up these pictures in my Dheera group, and Dr. Padmaja from Padmaja IVF Clinic said, wow, it looks like a lot of students. That's great that you have come here today to listen to us. I would like Madam to say a few words.
Good evening, all of you. I appreciate the organizers for their initiative step for all the girls, for all of you to raise your voice against violence. It may be any violence, physical, mental, or sexual, whatever may be the violence, but the doctors, they don't have time, and their department is gynecology. And even then they choose this to protect you, to stand next to you. I appreciate all the doctors, and especially Shailaja Garu for taking a very active part. She is actually consulting Mrs. Deepti every day for this program. I thank you, madam. I thank you, Navina, Dr. Navina, for your active participation. And I thank your president, Santakumari Garu also. And I appreciate all the literates who are a part and parcel of this program. And I thank everyone. And please stop this. I want to say something to students.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for giving the opportunity. It was really like your students have interacted very well. It was just like a wow to say this wow program is like a wow for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, so we can log out.
Yeah, that's what they've asked us, no?